Welcome back, I'm Sean, and today I got my hands on the new Insta360 X4 and I'm really excited to show you all the things that this camera can do, and most importantly, how does it compare to its predecessor, the Insta360 X3. And this is going to be a long video and I'm going to share with you all the different sections to explore, so sit back and check it out.
Everything you want, but you can't have. Number one regret, no takebacks. The hole in your chest, that's payback. Payback, yeah, you better take that. You could call me selfish and critical, I could take the blame. Just like I could take a match and send it up in flames. Don't say I didn't want that. This might hurt, but that's just karma. Better take that.
Also, this camera was sent over to me by Insta360 for a review, but this is not a sponsored post, no money has exchanged hands, and my review will be based on my honest and unbiased opinion. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and ring the notification bell so you won't miss any future tech reviews. So to start off, I think the first thing that is worth pointing out, and I'm super excited about it as well, is the new 8K sensor. And finally, we can output a true 4K 360 video, which is 3840 by 2160 resolution, which honestly has been a dream in the past, even with the Insta360 X3. And if you're like me and you have always shoot all your videos or footages in 4K, the X4 can now be part of your filming arsenals to also incorporate 4K shots into your video timeline with no drop in quality, which is honestly everything that I am dreaming of. And if you don't know, 8K is actually 78% more pixel than the 5.7K that you get with the X3. And if you take a look at the video comparison here, you definitely can see difference here between the shots, and the X4 looks really sharp and is what I'm used to looking at when shooting any video content. So not only that, the new camera also have improved single lens mode up to 4K 60 frames per second, which is increased from 30 frames per second from the X3. And now that you get to film your shots in smooth 60 frames per second or use it to slow it down to your 30 frames per second timeline. Which honestly, I think it's an invaluable capability that this new camera can offer, and honestly it's better for me to just bring one camera that essentially is two camera, a 360 camera and a 4K action camera, especially now that it shoots 360 in 8K as well. So from a design standpoint, a notable difference here is the size of the camera. So you can see if I put these two cameras together, you can see that the X4 is actually significantly taller with a larger 2.5-inch screen as compared to the 2.29-inch on the X3. So not sure if you can see this, but I think the X4 also has a larger lens inside as compared to the X3. And if you look at the back of the camera, you can see that the X4 is now ripped so that it's easier for your hands to grip. But everything else stayed the same. Is the width of the device is the same, the location of the ports all over here is the same. You also get the same mic ports at the top here, and also all the button layouts, which is all the same as well. And speaking of that two cameras in one, my personal opinion is that it's also cheaper for me to buy just one camera that have the capability of two cameras. Other options that you have is to buy a Hero 12 from GoPro and also a GoPro Max, which was launched like 5 years ago, and the GoPro Max alone is priced at $499 US, which is like the price of the Insta360 X4. So it's really a no-brainer to consider the X4 as your next do-it-all 2-in-1 action camera for your adventures. And when you have a 360 camera, there are many fun things that you can do with your camera. For starters, I love slow motion shots, and now you can shoot a 360 slow motion video up to 4K at 100 frames per second. That is super slow, and comparing the slow-mo capability on the X3 that only goes up to 3K at 100 frames per second. So another thing that I noticed here is the new Mega View field of view here. You can see Mega there, and that's not available in the X3 previously. So that's the first thing that you notice on the screen of the camera when it starts up, which is a new field of view that creates less distortion. You get a very wide view but a very low distortion, and gives you overall better image quality. So with that settings, I started to using it more on my mountain biking videos, and it creates a better, less distorted footage for my riding. And with different styles of content today, with landscape videos and also plenty of portrait videos such as shots and reels. So both the X3 and the X4 are the only cameras that can just film once and later export the footage into both portrait or landscape shots anytime that you want. Of course, you can also do this with any 360 camera, and all of that still retains the ability to export true 4K footage thanks to the 8K sensor. So I particularly love using the invisible selfie stick, and if you know me personally, I usually hand hold most of my travel shots, and I don't like to use the selfie stick, but with the X4, it's just something that you feel naked without, and the selfie stick is just something that is ingrained into the X3 X3 and the X4. And thanks to that blind spot between the two camera lenses here, so the selfie stick will be sitting right at the bottom here, it creates a very nice drone-like shot when you hold it above you. And I especially love the Me mode, where it looks like a follow cam is following you in front or behind of you. And to be honest, the algorithm that the camera uses to erase off the stitch line is also super good, and if you use a selfie stick that is long enough, you almost cannot tell the stitch line when you're looking at the footage. So another cool feature that you get here with the 360 cam, especially with the Insta360 models, is the ability to perform bullet time shots. And I think it's a particularly unique way of showcasing your environment in a cool slow motion manner, especially if you are at a very unique location. And the X4 allows you to shoot that up to a resolution of 5.7K at 120 frames per second, where the older X3 only goes up to 4K at 120 frames per second, so there's a boost of resolution there as well. Lastly, if you're a travel type of person and wants to have some cool time-lapse shot or time-shift shots, then the X4 also has improved resolution here, shooting up to 11K in time-lapse mode and up to 8K footage in time-shift mode. So comparing this to the X3, you're only getting up to 8K time-lapse and only 5.7K in time-shift mode. So there are some things introduced with the new X4 and some features that are already available with the X3 that I'm just getting into that I really love. And first is the GPS remote, which is not a new feature per se, and you can actually use this remote with the other Insta360 cameras, but using it with the X4 is particularly satisfying, especially when you can overlay cool information about your videos, especially when you're doing anything that involves speed, cadence, map, or elevation. So this is particularly awesome. There are also many styles that you can choose from, and some makes the viewer feel like, you're like Iron Man or a cyborg, which is super cool. So another new feature that you get here is also a removable lens guard that I'm super happy that Insta360 came out with this new lens guard, which also comes in the box with the camera. So all you need to do is just twist it on and off like a lens cap, and in the event that you scratch it or damage it, you can just replace it very easily, no big deal. Where the older model, the X3, uses a sticky lens guard which you have to glue it to your camera itself, and it's not that easily removable. So you can also buy a premium lens guard that Insta360 sells, and here you get scratch resistant lens guard that is made of tempered glass. It will definitely be the next thing that I'm buying for my X4. So we've also seen AI gesture on the Insta360 Ace Pro, and thanks to the 5nm AI chip that the X4 comes with, now you also get gesture control. So as long as your head is in the shot, you can show your palm to start recording video or use a peace sign to take a photo.
Start recording. Shooting complete. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So some awesome features that I still really enjoy when riding my bike specifically will be the Flowstate stabilization. And since the X4 is a 360 camera, stabilization really isn't a problem except for jitters. And since the camera's algorithm have a much more area to crop the footage from eliminating vibrations on the trail, and if you have seen older GoPro footage that have no stabilization on, you're gonna be amazed how smooth these modern cameras really are. And with the horizon lock, you can also move your camera freely, rotate it upside down 360 degrees, and continuously shoot without having to worry that you are out of frame. Since the camera itself doesn't flip the image when you're recording, so no matter how you turn the device, the footage will stay locked to the horizon. So other features that you will enjoy with this device is also the larger battery capacity, and physically you also get a bigger size battery. So now you get a larger 2290 mAh battery versus the 1800 mAh battery on the X3, and Insta360 raised this at 135 minutes, shooting at 5.7K at 30 frames per second. So that's pretty standard information, but just to give you some context of that performance, I brought the camera out to a mountain bike ride with 88% battery since I've played with it on the day before, and shooting at 8K 30 frames per second at 360 mode, I managed to film my entire bike ride with just one battery with a total of 41 minutes of footage, and with battery still to spare. So that is actually pretty good, and I usually bring 2 to 3 extra batteries with me when I'm riding, so I'm definitely not running out of battery so quickly with this camera. Also, the screen on the X4 is also improved and now comes with the 2.5-inch screen And now comes with a Corning Gorilla Glass display, so it's stronger, more scratch resistant as compared to the older normal tempered glass display on the X3. So waterproofing capabilities is still the same on both of these devices, and you're essentially getting full waterproof capabilities here, rated up to IPX8, and it can survive submersion up to 10 meters or 33 feet. So I personally prefer editing my footage using the Insta360 mobile app. Since editing 360 footage in Pro mode, it's easier to drag on the screen with my fingers rather than on a PC. And if you want to make edits using Quick Edit and using motion or point or aim the camera, the app would be the perfect for these use cases. And there is also a whole lot you can do with this app. Just to name a few, you can trim your footage, change the field of view, you can also initiate deep tracking so the AI will intelligently track subject that you're aiming for, and you can also de-warp your footages and also change the aspect ratio of your footages very quickly in the app. There is also AI editing, where the app will use AI to intelligently analyze scenes in your footage and come out with their version of an edited footage. But to be honest, for what we're doing, I much prefer doing it on Pro mode so I can have maximum flexibility to manage the angles and footages. Also, if you have the GPS remote, you can add all your stats to your footage before exporting it, and there are 6 different types that you can choose from to overlay on your footage that looks super cool. And honestly, now I cannot write without the GPS remote. So honestly, I'm really in love with this camera, and you can see in many reviews online on how others have also loved their X4. And honestly, Insta360 did not pay me to say this, but I was previously traveling a lot with my go-to camera, which is the Insta360 X Pro. The flip-up screen and the shots from the camera is just gorgeous. But now I really think that my new favorite travel camera will be the Insta360 X4. So that is it for this comparison review. If you find this video helpful, smash that thumbs up button, share this video everywhere. If you haven't yet subscribed, do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.